Hey everyone! Today we're diving into a real-life story that feels just like a movie script. It's about Nicolas Cage, a man who once stood under the bright spotlight of Hollywood. Money poured into his life like a rising tide, and then, just as quickly, it vanished. Now this isn't just a simple tale of spend too much, go broke. Behind it lies a mix of choices, behaviors, and if we borrow some language from ancient metaphysics, hidden forces. Words like windfall wealth, authority and law, and cycles of fortune. Don't worry, I'll turn those into pictures you can actually imagine. Cage's rise and fall plays out almost like a fable. When sudden wealth comes crashing down like a storm, the real test isn't the money itself, it's whether you've built a dam, whether you have direction, whether you're in the right cycle of fortune to hold on to it. Let's rewind. Cage was born into a family of filmmakers. Talented, passionate, and wildly creative, he rose to fame early. And with fame came paychecks so huge, they opened doors to an avalanche of wealth. We're talking about mansions, private islands, dinosaur skulls, bizarre collections, and treasures of every kind. In metaphysics, this is what we call windfall wealth. Money that comes fast, like water flooding into your life. But here's the catch. If you don't build a reservoir, that water just overflows and disappears. And that was Cage's exact situation. He poured his fortune into rare objects and flashy symbols of status. Things that looked glorious, but couldn't turn wealth into steady, lasting income. Then came the storm. The financial crisis hit. The movie market shifted. Tax issues piled up. In the language of destiny, this is when his cycle of fortune turned against him. No matter how much money rushed in, the timing and environment drained it even faster. And then came what we call authority and law. In today's terms, the IRS knocking at your door. Audits, lawsuits, and endless tax claims. If windfall wealth isn't backed by solid structure and records, the law steps in like a sword, cutting away at everything you've gained. For Cage, it was millions in taxes, financial disputes with agents, and penalties that tore down whatever he had left. But it wasn't just the system. It was also the people around him. Friends, advisors, collectors, the very circle that once fueled his spending became the channels through which money leaked away. In destiny terms, this is companions dividing the spoils. When your energy is unstable, the people around you can help, or they can hollow you out. Put all this together, and you see why Cage's wealth collapsed. He had the flood of money, but not the foundation. He faced a hostile cycle of fortune. The law came knocking, and his circle kept draining the pot. Now let's flip the picture. Imagine another man. Let's call him David. David also wins a huge windfall, like a lottery jackpot. But unlike Cage, David is cautious. He has a partner he communicates with, he hires proper advisors, he sets up trusts, and he builds a protective financial structure. And most importantly, his cycle of fortune is aligned with stability. He has what we call supportive stars, meaning he can take sudden wealth and lock it into rules, investments, and growth. Years later, Cage's fortune is gone. But David's windfall? It has grown into a steady orchard, producing fruit year after year. The point isn't that destiny is unchangeable. It's that windfall wealth itself isn't good or bad. The real question is, do you have the ability to turn it from a passing guest into a permanent resident? So, let's bring it down to earth. If you ever get sudden wealth, the first rule is, don't celebrate by spending. create a protection circle, legal, tax and financial. Think of it like building a dam before the flood. Second, control the noise around you. Not every friend, not every advisor deserves a seat at the table. Keep only those you truly trust. Third, invest in learning. Study finance, taxes, wealth management. That learning is what turns sudden fortune into lasting fortune. Cage's story isn't pure tragedy. It's a lesson. Wealth is a flowing energy. It comes fast, it goes fast. But if you have rules, structure, family support, and the right timing, it can become a river that feeds you for life. If not, then no matter how grand the fireworks, they fade into the night sky. So, take Cage's rise and fall as a reminder. When fortune knocks, don't just grab it. Learn how to keep it. Because the real story isn't about the money you get. It's about the money you can hold. And that's today's story. If you enjoyed this blend of Hollywood legends with ancient wisdom, hit that like and subscribe. Next time, we'll keep uncovering the hidden patterns behind the ups and downs of fate.